welcome to another video. This is episode 2 of the horror book series that I'm doing, the 101 horror books to read before you're murdered, which is this book by Sadie Hartman, known as Mother Horror. And it's an amazing book that I would recommend to absolutely anyone that loves horror books. And this is the second episode. So the last episode, you can go and have a look at it. I read The Grip of It by Jack Gemsey. This episode, we are reading Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey, which was one that's been on my TBR for a while as well, actually. But I was unable to get a copy, really. And even the second-hand copies were like over £10. It's quite expensive to get this for some reason. So I ended up paying £1.10 for it to be shipped to my local library, and I picked it up from there. And it took ages for it to come in. I swear it was like 3 weeks before it was available. So I went and picked this up, and now we can do episode 2. So this is in the paranormal homes, like the haunted homes, that sort of thing, that category. So the haunted houses. And let me just read what it says in here. The themes for this book is mothers and daughters, daughters and fathers, jealousy, dysfunctional families, serial killers, scandal, generational sin, neglected children, basements, trauma, wickedness, parent dying, and homecoming. So I think there's going to be some sad elements to it as well. It's also disturbing, gruesome, intensifying dread as the tones to it. And the style is dual timeline, intricately plotted. And the setting is upstate New York. I do love New York settings in books. So I don't know too much about it, but I'll just read on the back of the actual book. So for Vera, coming home means returning to the notorious Crowder house, where her serial killer father murdered his victims and buried their bodies beneath. Then notes start to appear in Vera's father's handwriting, but they can't be from him. He has been dead for years. Vera thought the house had given up all its secrets, but now she must uncover how deep the rot goes. So apparently it's like a very dark read. And it's like almost like a moody gothic tale. So I am really, really excited to read this. It doesn't seem to be overly long as well. It's about 335 pages. I think it's going to be quite a quick read because it is quite short chapters. We do love a good short chapter, fast-paced horror. So yeah, I kind of feel like there is a lot of haunted house vibes to this, but like almost with a gothic element to it as well, which I'm going to absolutely love, I just know. So I'm going to make a start on this now. It's a bit later on in the day because it's just coming up to 5 o'clock, but I finished my current read that I was my last book. So now we're going to start on this, and we're going to start the reading vlog. And we're on Tuesday. No, we're not. We're on Monday. Oh gosh, we're on Monday. So we're starting it on Monday. I probably would think that I can have this finished by the end of the day on Wednesday. So I reckon this is going to go over 2 or 3 days, this book. This video, sorry. Even around the book. But yeah, so welcome to episode 2. Let's get on with reading. Hello. I'm wrapped up because the temperature has dropped a lot. So I've got my hoodie on and just staying wrapped up warm. So I wanted to come on here with a reading update. I am on page 147. I kind of feel like with this book, it's probably best to go in a bit blind. I don't really know how I can describe this book because I'm 146 pages in and I still don't fully understand whether it's supernatural, whether it's psychological. There's like this question as to whether it's supernatural, whether it's the house, that sort of thing. So with this story, we have Vera, and she's estranged from her mother, and she gets a call by Daphne, her mother, basically saying you need to come back to the house because I'm dying. And so she hasn't stepped foot into that house for 12 years since her father was arrested for being a serial killer and he'd been burying bodies under the house. So we kind of see that she's obviously stayed away for a reason, but there's almost like this very bizarre relationship between her and her mother. It's very much like her mother had no maternal instinct and didn't really want Vera around. And we kind of see that she starts having flashbacks of her childhood. So she has, sometimes there's like these nightmares that she's having. She's basically there to clear out the house because her mother is on her deathbed. But whilst being in the house, she's starting to have flashbacks to her childhood and things are starting to come back to her with like what happened to her as a child. I would say check the trigger warnings on this book. I'm not one, I mean, not, I had to get my words out. Like there's not a load of things that have happened in detail that has made me feel uncomfortable. But there are hints to certain things, which I think people would find very uncomfortable and triggering. I kind of feel like you need to really go into this blind. Not read too much into it. Don't read any reviews because I kind of feel like, yeah, this it's a very clever book and there is a very creepy element to it. So even though, like I said, 146 pages in and I'm still not 100% sure about what is going on, whether it's supernatural or not, you know, it's a lot of things to think about with this book. But I am enjoying it. Well, I don't know if you can say enjoying it with a book from this genre. It's very creepy and yeah, I'm not 100% sure whether you can say that you enjoy this book. There's, you know, a very dark topic in amongst it. So yeah, it's very interesting. I'm very intrigued. I'm keen to see where the author takes this. So yeah, that is a little reading update so far. This evening I'm going to be off doing, I've got a pen on my hoodie. Yeah, so this evening I'm going to go off and do the food shop, and I think we're going to have just pizza and watch a film this evening. So I finish work at 6, so I'll do the food shop and then we'll have dinner and watch a film. That's the plan for this evening. But yeah, I'm hoping to get this done fairly quickly. I mean, I'm nearly at the halfway mark, so I'm going to carry on reading it now for another 20 minutes or so. So I might have to do something for work first so that that's done. Yeah, I might have to do a bit more research for something work-wise. But yeah, I am enjoying, I said it again, enjoying it. You know, I'm very intrigued with this book. Let's put it that way. So that's my little update. reading update. I have finished Just Like Home. And I'm giving it 4 stars. So it didn't blow me away and be a 5 stars, because there's a lot about this book that's just difficult to get your head around. Let's put it that way. It's very much a disturbing read. So there's no enjoyment going through this book. All you really need to know is that it's about Vera, and she goes back to the house where her mother is lying there dying, and while she's in the house, she's having flashbacks to her 13-year-old self and of her being in that house and what she witnessed. It says on the back that about her serial killer father, and that he murdered people and buried them below the house in the basement. So it's basically showcasing, you know, her childhood and the horrors that she went through in her own childhood, and yet having still this deep connection with her father and this very strained relationship with her mother. There is talk of abuse in this book, like child abuse and domestic violence. So there is that to bear in mind going into this. It doesn't say, it's not horrific. I mean, all child abuse is horrific, but it's not like described in detail horrifically. So, but there is that sense of, you know, these little hints, there's child abuse going on, and she had this horrendous childhood. I kind of feel like you need to go into this completely blind. So that's all I'm going to say about this. Okay, I'm not going to say anything about the plot at all. Just know that there is Vera in the now, and then you're finding out about her childhood and past via flashbacks that she's having while staying in this house. And that this house is creepy in itself and is its own character. Just basically go in blind. That's all you need to do with this book. It's fantastically written, and it's very creepy, and it's a very unique concept. I don't fully think that I've seen this used elsewhere, but I could be wrong. But I don't know, I thought it was superbly done. I really did. So yeah, the plan is now, well, I've finished this reading vlog, but I want to tell you what the next one is going to be. So episode 3 is going to be Kill Creek. So this is a bit of a thicker book. I think it's about 400 pages, about 410 pages, a little bit thicker. So this one, I just want to let you know what it says on the back. It says, at the end of a dark prairie road, nearly forgotten in the Kansas countryside, is the Finch house. For years it has remained empty, overgrown, abandoned. Soon the door will be opened for the first time in decades, but something is waiting, lurking in the shadows and anxious to meet its new guests. When best-selling horror author Sam McGarver is invited to spend Halloween night in one of the world's most infamous haunted houses, he reluctantly agrees. At least he won't be alone. Joining him are 3 other masters of the macabre writers who have helped shape modern horror. But what begins as a simple publicity stunt will become a fight for survival. The entity they have awakened will follow them, torment them, threatening to make them a part of the bloody legacy of Kill Creek. So you have a haunted house, 4 authors spending time in this house, and then the shit hits the fan. Everything goes peak tong and all of that. And it's a fight for survival. So it sounds like it's going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward to reading this. This has been on my wish list for ages. And Paul actually bought me this for my birthday last month. So I'm going to be reading this. The episode 3 is going to be coming in January. And this is what I'm going to be reading for it. So yeah, I'm really excited for that, because yeah, it's going to be an exciting read, I do believe. But yeah, I just wanted to say that I finished this. I would definitely recommend it, but just check the trigger warnings going in and go in blind. Don't look at any reviews. That's why it's very difficult to wrap up this video with my full thoughts on this, because I kind of feel like the least you know, the more you're going to get from this, the more you get out of it. So go in blind, but I would definitely recommend this. It's brilliant. So yeah. And that concludes this reading vlog, which is episode 2 of reading 101 horror books before you're murdered. And obviously you know what episode 3 is going to be in January. So thank you so much for watching this one. And I will be back very soon with another video. Bye.